Oh, Andrea Tessmann.
Yes, Kirk Buchner.
Do you by chance remember September of 1984? Or 1983, sorry.
I do not.
You don't remember it at all? Nothing stands out?
Not a lot stands out to a 2-year-old.
Ah.
Like, maybe I was learning to stand, but that was about it.
Well, I was a very impressionable 11-year-old. And there were some interesting things afoot at the Circle K. But just as I always like to do, I want to paint a little bit of a picture here. So, around this time, MTV was still in its origin phase, and videos really meant something. And if you were going to the movies, because I always like to see what was big in the movies around that time, so listen to these choices that you might have had. It's a real great collection of classics to utter shit here. Risky Business had been out for a month. Cujo.
Okay.
Curse of the Pink Panther. They made a Pink Panther movie years after Peter Sellers died. Who does this? Okay, but I guess they did anyway. Hercules, starring Lou Ferrigno.
Wow.
Yeah, I think the best part was when he did the "I'm gonna get you." No, okay, that was no. All right,
That sounds like Lou Ferrigno.
something like that. I'd say it to him, but I don't think he'd know what I was saying. I guess I could. No, actually, no, he's still ripped. No, I'm not saying nothing to Lou Ferrigno. Lou, if you're listening, oh shit, I guess that's a joke. Don't take that the wrong way. Easy Money. Easy Money by Rodney Dangerfield, one of my favorite all-time comedians. Had a movie out. And here, 5 days before, Strange Brew, The Adventures of Bob and Doug McKenzie. Yes, Americans look this up because you probably don't know what we're talking about. But it's a Canadian classic.
Oh, yeah.
Definitely.
Didn't we sing the 12 Days of Christmas, the Bob and Doug version at Christmas time?
I think, maybe, but we were probably drunk.
We may have confused our audience with Bob and Doug before, is all I'm getting at.
Oh, it's possible, but we may have actually done that sitting outside with a beer or two in hand.
That could be also.
Yeah, that might be.
All right, Hoser, get back to the story.
Yes. But musically, a band that really hadn't made it yet, but now finally did, called the Eurythmics. Actually, just Eurythmics, because they don't actually have the in front of it. Hit number 1 for the first and only time in the United States with Sweet Dreams Are Made of These. Only it says are made of this, phonetically speaking. And it was one hell of a video. But I guess before we get there, we should look at who these people are. Because it's a duo. Annie Lennox, absolute legend. And Dave Stewart, a quiet legend. And I messaged you before, and I said I have a feeling that the ratio of our conversation from Annie Lennox to Dave Stewart's got to be 10-1. It's going to have to be, right?
I agree with that.
Yeah. Let's see if that's what it is. So before Eurythmics, they were in a group called the Tourists. Did you look them up?
Not much. Not much beyond the fact that they were dating. They kind of broke up as they started Eurythmics, which was interesting. And they did not have a whole lot of commercial success as the Tourists.
No. They went number 4 in the UK with their cover of Dusty Springfield's I Only Want to Be With You. It's really interesting seeing a pre-Eurythmics Annie Lennox really dolled up a lot in pink pastels, not pastels, but just in a lot of pink. It's a different look for what we sort of came to know her as only a few years later. But the two of them left, or that band really imploded. And as you mentioned, yeah, they were dating, but they stayed together even after, or they stayed together creatively rather, after they sort of ended their romantic tryst. But their first album, and this is why I love doing this. There's so much I didn't know. I thought that this was their first album, but it wasn't. They put out one in 1981 that just bombed everywhere.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and they were saying that it was just a slog. They had no money. They were just trying to, put out. The synth pop thing is interesting. The whole, the whole structure of Eurythmics was that they were basically, it was a duo that then brought in all sorts of different musicians to work with them on things, and I think it worked well as they developed as a duo, and it didn't necessarily work so well at the beginning. Probably because as you get better musicians potentially want to play with you. So there's that. But it's very much everything they did was sort of concept music. None of it was really, they just did whatever the fuck they wanted. There wasn't a cohesive sound about a lot of their stuff.
Mm-hmm. And we've got another act here that bet on themselves. Because right after their first album tanked, they still had a deal with RCA. And they went to the bank and got a loan to buy their own recording studio.
Yeah, they got £5,000. And apparently when they went in to see the bank manager, Dave was on speed.
I didn't read that part.
This is literally from an article that's quoting him that basically said, we sat in his office and we were this odd couple. I was on speed and Annie wasn't. And somehow he lent us £5,000.
I'm guessing the bank got their money back.
I would guess so. But yeah, they bought some secondhand equipment, borrowed some other stuff. I think all the audio all the vocals were recorded on like a really basic handheld mic, like kind of the type that you'd use to mic a hi-hat. And they were just like struggling with their equipment, and they were depressed and annoyed and frustrated. And apparently Dave Stewart started just riffing on one of the keyboards, and Annie Lennox jumped up and was like, whoa, and then started playing off that and created this song.
It's a great story.
So,
I love these DIY stories. I just love it. And I think it also goes back to, I really want to talk to some other musicians who have sort of experienced what they've got to pay back to, I guess, the record company. Because it wasn't just an investment in themselves. It was also to avoid paying for studio costs. And I guess with the belief that, they had just enough success that they still managed to keep a deal. And it really didn't cost them that much, or the company, that is, rather, with RCA, to sort of keep them afloat. And with that, they put together this just incredible album. Did you get a chance to listen to the whole album? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And it's so good.
I had a great time listening to both this album, some of their other stuff, and then also just some classic Annie Lennox this week.
Mm-hmm.
But voice. As I said before, a lot of their stuff is kind of experimental and like all over the place in terms of style. Her voice is what is definitive through all of it.
I was reading by someone doing a review on her that said that labeled her as one of the greatest white female soul singers.
Gospel soul. Yeah, I saw that too.
Which I thought was interesting because there's not a lot of soul songs that she's done.
No, I think it's basically just the style of what she's doing more so than like the style of her singing versus the style of the music.
I think you're right on that. I also think that this is probably one of those occasions where you've got a voice that can lend itself to anything. Mm-hmm. Whether it's rock, punk, because they did start off the Taurus as a punk band, punk, pop, soul,
Yeah.
R&B. There's nothing that voice can't do, in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree. I think I've always loved her voice. She's got a beautiful contralto, which is kind of a lower alto, but then she also manipulates it beautifully and can sing in the higher registers. I mean, she's not trying to do soprano or anything, but she can pull off some of that mid to higher range notes without sounding like she's going into like an artificial falsetto.
It's beautiful. It's absolutely beautiful. What I couldn't find, and if Sweet Dreams was their first video from this album, it wasn't their first single. They actually released 3 others that went nowhere.
Well, this also went nowhere to begin with, because the record label basically said, "Well, you don't have a hook. You have a hook, but you don't have a chorus. Like, the lyrics are just repeating the same things over and over and over and over again." And basically, the record company was like, "Nope, can't be a single. There's no chorus. You need a chorus to be a single." And then again, another radio DJ kept playing the album, and eventually the label had to relent and release it.
So it probably was their first video. From what I can tell, it is.
Probably. Now, the video is wild.
Well, let's get to that.
It makes no sense.
But it's what made them. I honestly believe that. And I'm going back to remember seeing this as an 11-year-old kid. And, well, I'd never seen a woman with a bright orange crew cut before. Nowadays, that's not that uncommon. Well, it's still not the most common thing, but I never saw anything like that. And a lot of people hadn't. They were referring to her as sort of the female Boy George, how she was gender bending, even though.
Mm-hmm.
How do I word this?
She dressed up in suits and she had her short hair, but she was always very feminine at the same time. Okay. And there was the one where she's dressed up as Elvis, but he's also kind of feminine in some ways. You can't wear that many sequins without being feminine. But
I suppose not.
She may be gender bending, but at the most, like, she never looks male. At the most, she looks like a very, very effeminate dude, but she's very pretty, and she's not trying to be butch. She's just dressing more like a man. I think she really was, I see a quote where her basically saying she was trying to show that she was the opposite of the female cliche.
Yeah, and I read something similar to that too, where she was trying to show how she was equal, and that's what they wanted. Hence why they dressed the same, her and Dave. You know, they had the same outfit throughout, even when they were dancing around a field with a cow.
Apparently the cow just pissed everywhere constantly.
As cows
do.
I found a quote about the cow.
Yeah?
Yeah, let me bring this up here. Okay. Lennox recalls... So in a book, I Want My MTV, Lennox recalls the shoot with the bovine walking around as being one of the most surreal experiences of her life. Regarding what it all meant, she said, "The video is a statement about the different forms of existence. Here are humans, with our dreams of industry and achievement and success. And here's a cow. This doesn't help me at all."
Here's a cow. Oh, that's great.
I don't get it. And I don't know what the whole artistic point of this is. Other than, well, I guess maybe I do get it, because here's a cow. I guess I had it all along.
I also read somewhere that one of them basically said that they mocked up a record company boardroom, and then they put a cow in it to signify reality.
Oh, so that was supposed to be a record company boardroom. Okay.
Apparently. I don't know.
There was also a lot of misconceptions, too, about thinking that some of the lyrics were about S&M.
Some of them want to use you. Some of them want to be used by you. Some of them want to abuse you. Some of them want to be abused.
And I think I can see where people would misconstrue that. Nice English, Kirk. When the first time she's saying those words, she's in that suit, holding, well, it's like a little cane or like a pointer. I imagine that is some people's fantasy. I just learned what a dungeon was 5 years ago. I never even knew that existed because I know nothing.
Are you so protected, Kirk?
I have a very yeah, I guess so.
I think you'd be surprised by how widespread the S&M and kink community is.
I'm sure I would be.
And I can see where it's coming from, but I can also see what they say the intent was is that just everybody, I mean, literally, everybody's searching for something. Like we're perpetually on a loop of looking for something, and half the time we don't even know what it is.
Well, that's really the whole point of the song. Is just
also.
Oh, go ahead. Yep.
Do you know it's one of the most misheard lyrics? Because apparently, sweet dreams are made of cheese.
I travel the world with my reject jeans. Yeah, I
yeah. I mean, I enjoy dreams about cheese because cheese is probably one of my love languages, but I don't think it's really, yeah. but the sweet dreams are made of this. It's got to just be like the accent, right? Is that why it's sweet dreams are made of these? Because this doesn't rhyme with C's. And I guess with her, British, Scottish accent,
But why didn't they just call the song Sweet Dreams Are Made of These instead of this?
But I think it's just the way she pronounces this.
Well, yeah, but then the next line is, who am I to disagree?
No, but if she pronounces this as these...
Well, no, I know, but I mean, if you said disagree, then if she doesn't say these...
Who am I to disagree?
Yeah, I know. But it's a pretty simple message. It's just, as Lennox had said, it's a song about the search for fulfillment and the sweet dreams that desire to motivate us. That's it. It's a pretty simple thing with a very haunting sound. It's beautiful.
And she also said, she said somewhere that it's not a traditional song. It's not a story. There's no chorus that it comes back to. It's more of a mantra that just circles. Like, yeah, that makes sense.
I gotta go back to her hair. If she had, because from what I can tell, she's always had short hair. I have not found one image of her since the mid-'70s anyway, when she first started becoming a performer, where she had hair past her chin. But
no, I didn't see anything.
Yeah, and it suits her. It's like like when she wears a wig, like, no, it doesn't work. It's not you. And maybe it's just because of the pronounced jaw and the small frame, but whatever. I mean, like that's really irrelevant. But I think if she had just an orange pixie cut, this song is not as big a hit because it's the video that made it. This strange video with this very unique at that time looking person. Am I wrong?
I don't think so. I don't know that it necessarily wouldn't have still made it without her unique looks, but I think it certainly helped, especially when you're doing such a weird video. Having the bright orange hair certainly added to the weirdness of the video.
This is still my favorite Eurythmics song. I love almost everything in their catalog. Do you have another favorite after listening to a lot more Eurythmics this week?
Oh, man. I keep wanting to say Walking on Broken Glass, except that's Annie Lennox and not the Eurythmics.
That's a great song also.
But let me just...
Well, while you're thinking of that, I've got a new appreciation for a song I didn't really care for growing up. And maybe it's just listening to... I was really focusing on her vocal range, and that was her duet with Aretha Franklin.
Oh, yeah.
Which, needless to say, is, sisters are doing it for themselves. That's the song I'm referring to. It's not necessarily a song about women empowerment is not necessarily going to get a 13-year-old, because I would have been 13 then, a 13-year-old teen boy interested. And I wasn't. But the song itself, just those two, oh my God. When you can match up with Aretha, you're something.
There's a lot. Yeah, she, I think we said it before, but she really, her vocal range is just incredible. Mm-hmm.
So, accolades that it won the 1984 MTV New Artist. I was looking at this lineup here for the 1984 MTV Music Video Awards. Jesus Christ, some of these things are just a mess. Want to know who she beat out? Or she beat out? They beat out? Okay. So, Best New Artist in a Video defeated Cyndi Lauper twice for Girls Just Want to Have Fun and Time After Time. Also beat Madonna Borderline. So, Madonna, Cyndi Lauper, Eurythmics. We got some real powerhouses here. And then we get to the other one it beat, Wang Chung, Dance Hall Days. Wang Chung.
Wow, Wang Chung.
I don't think they ever went number one with Everybody Have Fun Tonight, and I don't want to cover that if they did. So I'm just putting that out there. If Wang Chung did go number one there, I don't want to talk about it. Unless you pick it, then I have to. I just want to... Yeah, it's actually... I'm looking at some of these other wins here. Best Stage Performance in a Video, Van Halen, Jump. Best Overall Performance in a Video, Michael Jackson in Thriller. Video of the Year, You Might Think by the Cars, really? Okay, well, whatever. Well, this makes no sense. All right, so Video of the Year, the Cars win that. Beating out Thriller, Herbie Hancock, Rocket, The Police, Every Breath You Take, and then Cyndi Lauper, Girls Just Want to Have Fun. How is that does she go from being nominated for Video of the Year and not winning Best New Artist when the other one wasn't in for Video of the Year? How does that work?
I don't know.
Hell with it. Fuck. Stupid.
Stupid.
What is?
You were asking about my favorite.
Yeah.
I would probably say Here Comes the Rain Again.
Mm-hmm.
Also closely followed by Would I Lie to You.
It's a great song. I've gotten more into Must Be Talking to an Angel.
All right.
Yeah, just a little of their tail end work, very far away from their synth pop beginnings, but it's just something about that song. It doesn't fit other songs I like, but here we are.
Here we are.
Oh, here's another interesting little useless tidbit. Presenting Video of the Year, Eddie Murphy and Joe Piscopo. What the fuck? Joe Piscopo.
Well,
it's hard to imagine, but at one point, Joe Piscopo thought he was as big a star as Eddie Murphy. My favorite.
I don't know that I can even think of what Joe Piscopo has been in.
I can't remember the movies. Oh, well, here's one. He was in a movie with Chuck Norris, and he said, "I want to fight you." And Chuck Norris, of course, beats him up at the end of the film.
That's what Chuck Norris does.
Well, he's Chuck Norris. He's Chuck Norris.
Chuck Norris.
Yeah. Eurythmics. I just want to, I guess, wrapping up putting a bow on this one. I love sometimes how we talk about crap, but it's also so much fun to talk about something just so great. It may not be as fun for the listener. It might not be. I don't know. I think it's probably more entertaining when I go off on some half-cocked tangent, which I guess I kind of did. But
yeah, you always do a little bit.
Yeah. They've been nominated before for the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Haven't got there yet. Not nominated this year. They're going to get in, and Annie Lennox just also remains just an incredible person. She's very socially active, has done some work in Africa, other women's issues, and became a gay icon, which is interesting because she's not gay.
True.
And probably a lot of that from this video.
I saw an interesting thing on gay icons recently, and how a lot of the female gay icons are not gay. They are over the top, self-confident, brash, out there women. What was I watching? I was watching Schitt's Creek, and they were talking about the mother on Schitt's Creek. If you haven't seen Schitt's Creek, I highly recommend watching.
But I should.
But they were talking about how the female the recipe for a female gay icon is it's not about being gay. It's about being confident and having a style and a look and something to say. I get that.
All right. Well, since we're already on Tangentville, let's just sort of go there. Has there ever been, you think, someone who's sort of been a gay icon that just went, "How the hell did this happen?" and didn't want it?
Probably, but I
can't think of one.
No.
I mean, I don't see why anyone would not want to be popular within one group. Because from my understanding, I think once you sort of become a gay icon, you're one for life.
I think you'd have to screw it up pretty badly.
I would think
like you'd have to say something really offensive, or I'm not sure.
Or be friends with Gina Carano.
I suppose that could do it.
That could do it. That could do it these days. But I'm not going to get into that because I don't really have an opinion. I don't watch that show. I will. I know I'm a Star Wars geek. I've never seen The Mandalorian.
I have not either. I've heard it's very good, but I just haven't gotten into it. I probably will eventually.
Yeah, eventually I'll get to it.
So, shall we talk about next week?
Yes, I was going to ask. What do we got for next week?
Well, I have a choice for you. Would you like to do one-hit wonder-ish goofy song?
Okay.
Or one influential R&B classic?
Give me the years.
They are both 1961.
Holy shit. Okay. Wow. I don't even know what to say here with that. What the? Goofy one-hit wonder. I'll take that.
All right. So for that, we are going to go deep into the jungle, the mighty jungle, where the lion sleeps tonight.
Oh, okay. I'm ready on this one already. There's a lot on this one. Okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
I know they're not really a one-hit wonder because they had some other stuff, but yeah, I thought that could be fun.
Yeah, there's already quite the backstory on this one.
Oh.
Yeah, I actually saw a documentary on just this song not that long ago. I'll have to find it and send it over to you.
Oh, yeah, please do.
Yeah.
Yeah, the song is fun, and I think that looking into the background of it will be fun because I just have nothing to say about it. It's ridiculous.
I will close with this because it's not really going to spoil everything. But my beautiful wife did not know that was a real song until she moved to Canada.
Really?
Really, because the a wee that part.
Yep.
Yeah. So when she was living in Indonesia, as a kid, they used to go to the zoo a lot, and they had these animatronic lions, and they sang a wee. And they did that. And then
that's great.
And then she first heard that song. It's like, what? That's real?
That's awesome. Also, that there's animatronic lions at the zoo that sing is also awesome.
Yeah, well, just this whole Chuck E. Cheese thing. But yeah, this goofy song is going to have one hell of a story that's going to take turns that you're not going to believe.
All right.
Yeah.
I'll brace myself for some, singing nun style shocks.
Kind of, yeah.
As long as there isn't just a suicide pact at the end, I'm good.
No, there's no lesbians or perhaps lesbian suicide pact at the end of this. I can promise that. But
okay.
Yeah, this is actually a real good one. Well, they're all
well,
good.
We will reconvene next week to discuss The Lion Sleeping in the Jungle.
Mm-hmm. In the jungle, the mighty jungle, the lion sleeps tonight.
Oh. Mm-hmm.
Nice. All right. With that, we ask everyone to stay safe.
Stay safe.
Bye, everybody.